Wander open roads with us as we show you how to see Boston in one day. Hey, this is Robin.
And I'm Miko.
And we're Wander Open Roads. Thank you for joining us on our day in Boston. We are excited about this.
Yes, first time in Boston. We'd like to show you around.
So Boston is the capital of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and it's the largest city in all of New England population-wise. So it's a huge, economic and cultural city for this entire area, and there's definitely a lot to see and do there. A lot of history. It is one of the oldest municipalities in the United States, founded in 1630. So a lot to see and do.
Our first stop in Boston is in the Seaport district, where the Boston Tea Party ships and museum is located.
Yeah, it was definitely cool to see the replica ships. Now, for the museum itself, I mean, the admission was over $30 a person. And, online, it was saying you could kind of get through it in about an hour. So I didn't really think that was worth it.
No, but I mean, it was actually, nice to just kind of see it from a distance and get the free version, which I was actually satisfied with.
Yep, so was I. So, as I said, we were, the plan was to see Boston in a day, and there are definitely some tips that you can use in order to successfully do that. And it applies to Boston, but really it applies to just about any major city. But, first of all, we decided to take a bus tour. So like one of the double-decker type bus tours.
Like the big red bus.
Yep, the big red bus. Yeah, any of those, that's definitely going to allow you to get around the city quite easily to all of the major kind of tourist stops that you're going to want to see, and not have to constantly, jump in and out of Ubers and different things like that, because over the course of an entire day, that would be pretty expensive.
Right, so it definitely helps to maximize the things that you're able to see. Plus the narration as you're rolling through the city is really helpful, because you're going to be passing things that you're not going to have a clue what it is, but they're going to tell you that in the tour, which is nice.
Absolutely. The second thing is definitely to research and plan ahead of time. For example, I was interested in going to see the state capitol, but then I found out that the state capitol was actually under construction. So, we still ended up going by there, but I knew that it was just going to be a photo op because there was nothing for us to actually see or do. So, definitely knowing the days and times that things are open, if something is closed for whatever reason, especially in the COVID era, doing research is definitely important.
Right. So just knowing that you may only have a day in this particular city, if you do the research ahead of time, you can kind of maximize the things that you're going to be able to see and get some, realistic list of things that you'll be able to see in a day.
Absolutely. And then the last thing that was I thought was kind of important was to definitely check the forecast. If you have 2 or 3 days that you're able to visit, the day that we chose was actually overcast, which I guess isn't great for necessarily filming, but in terms of walking around the city, it was not too hot. It was not just, it didn't, because sometimes the sun could just wear you out.
Right, and if you're going to have some flexibility in your schedule, then you can kind of pick a nicer day to go out and do your touring. I mean, the good thing is it was overcast, but at least it was not raining.
That is true, and also we went on a Sunday, which is definitely a not as busy a time to be in the downtown area. You don't have to deal with all the people working and the commuter traffic. So that was another big thing for the day that we chose. Yeah. One if by land and two if by sea. So that's the signal that is supposed to have been sent from this church for Paul Revere's midnight ride on April 18th, 1775. This church was built in 1723 and is the oldest standing church building in Boston. So,
and just a side note, there was a nice little cafe that was across the street if you decide that you want to get a little snack while you're out there.
oh yeah, definitely recommend it. So our next stop was to go check out the USS Constitution, which is also known as Old Ironsides. And she is the world's oldest ship of any type that is still afloat, launched in 1797. And you can go and tour the ship, which we did, but you have to also know that this is still actively controlled by the U.S. Navy. I mean, they have active duty, naval
Personnel.
Yeah, personnel that are on this ship. So it's like it's heavy security to actually get on. And
yeah, I mean, you have to go through security to get on. It wasn't a long line, which was good. And then there's active personnel that's actually on the ship that can answer any questions. They're doing demonstrations, raising the flag. So there's, kind of a lot going on the ship. But it was definitely interesting to be able to tour it, to be on it, to walk through it. Especially, to be able to get up and close and personal with everything. To be able to tour all the different parts of the ship and learn about it. Especially going below deck, which, can be a little tricky. Getting down, to the different levels. But again, it was really interesting. And there was a lot of people, which I was kind of surprised moving around on that ship.
Yeah, it has a crew of 75 officers and sailors, and it is, this ship actually can still be sailed and go out on the water, yeah, which it is from time to time. So really neat. So just a short walk from the USS Constitution is the Bunker Hill Monument and Museum. This monument was erected at the site of the Battle of Bunker Hill, which was among the first major battles of the American Revolutionary War. So this was built in the early 1800s, from 1825 to 1843.
And across the street is the Bunker Hill Museum, which is free. I like free.
Yeah.
Where you can get all of the information, history, backstories, and everything about the monument and the revolution that took place.
The old State House here in Boston was built in 1713 and is one of the oldest public buildings in the United States. It originally was the State House for Massachusetts and later became the Boston City Hall. It is also the site of the Boston Massacre.
So it's around lunchtime and we're getting a little hungry, so we saw this cute little marketplace and we decided to just kind of stop in to see what they offer.
Oh yeah. Like the fluff. Okay. It's interesting.
So what does it taste like?
It's kind of almost like a donut. Or, I don't know. Unfortunately for us, the Massachusetts State House was under construction, so tours were not available, but it was definitely still cool to see. If you've ever seen the movie Glory with Denzel Washington, you will recognize the 54th Regiment Memorial right across the street in the Boston Common, which is the oldest city park in the United States, dating from 1634.
If you're new to our channel, be sure to like and subscribe.
And hit the bell for notification of our future videos. Thanks. The Common is definitely a cool place to hang out. Lots of cool features. There's actually a burial ground where they have Samuel Adams and Paul Revere, among other people that were buried there. And they also have, across the street, they have a public garden where they have swan boats that you can take out on a lake. So definitely check it out. And of course, sometimes you just have to go to a place where everybody knows your name. If you want to check out Cheers, it's on Beacon Street, right across from the Boston Common. And it's in an area where they have a whole bunch of historic homes and, that have actually been turned into colleges and institutes. And speaking of that, of course, Boston is a huge center for higher learning. There are over 35 colleges and universities just in Boston, and over 70 in the metro area for Boston. And of course, the most famous are Harvard and MIT. So, definitely some smart folks around there. Although I don't know how they live in Boston because the real estate is extremely expensive, but I guess they're making a way. So Miko, what did you think about our day in Boston?
It was really cool. I really liked the buildings and just the whole Boston experience. Boston experience.
Yeah, there you go.
It was great. I was a little disappointed that I didn't have a chance to have a Boston cream pie, but
yeah,
next time.
Next time, definitely, yeah. Yeah, Boston was definitely a cool city. It definitely has its own kind of unique vibe going on. And, if you're into history and things like that, like we are, it's definitely, a place that you have to check out. It has to be on your list along with, Washington, D.C. and Philadelphia and, some of the other places we've been, Charleston. They're just, great American cities that you have to check out. So, and we did in a day. Hey, so thanks for joining us, and we will see you next time.
Wander safely. Be sure to check out our camping apparel and accessories at shopredsquare.com. We also sell on Etsy and Amazon. The links will be in the description. Thank you.